How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and this is going to be my build progression day number 1 for the Firestorm Templar. Now, I'm not as far along as I would have liked to be, but I decided to do things a little bit differently this league, and I was going a little bit slower than I would have liked. But I decided to do all of the ritual stuff and try and figure things out as quickly and as fast as possible to try and do a beginner's guide on day 1. So as a result, what I used to do was just skip the mechanic the whole time and just go straight beeline to Blood Aqueducts and then put a build together. I decided against doing that this time, and am going to try this style and see how it goes. And I did still want to do a day 1 build progression thing for you. But it's going to be a little bit different because I am, of course, still leveling the character. But people were asking me for a leveling tree and what I would do for leveling said character. So I'm going to give you exactly that and tell you how I did go about leveling and show you a little bit of gameplay of the character. I'll do that right now. I'm in Act 6 at the moment, so I'll show you a little bit of Twilight Strand here. My resistances are absolutely fucking shittered, but, you know. I'm going to have to make a new strand, because I did just clear this earlier. So I'll show you what this fellow looks like with a new Meteor Firestorm to give you a little bit of gameplay. We clap pretty much everything. The only issue that we have is a little bit in the survivability department, because of course we are playing an ES character, which means we need gear. That's the only issue with leveling like this. Also, I'm leveling streamer style is what I call it, which is where I don't stop to craft or anything like that until I really absolutely need to, or I hit endgame. Then I'll stop to craft, otherwise I don't particularly care. The only thing I've died to is projectile stuff in Act 2 because I wasn't paying attention. And other than that, frozen strongboxes, because I have yet to get a freeze removal flask, and they have clapped me every single time I've come across one. So you can see that we pretty much one-shot every single pack with no real issue. Boss showcase for you. I think that was a boss, yeah. So character, all in all, quite good so far. Procs LA overload all the time too, so it's surprisingly working really well. I got told by a couple people that, you know, Firestorm wasn't going to work, it wasn't going to be a good look, and those same people popped in the chat and said, you know, this actually looks kind of good. And here I thought this wasn't going to work. But, oh no, it's actually working quite exceptionally. We are level 47 at the moment, and I have my Ascendancy as well. We've got our first one, went for Arcane Blessing for 100% uptime on Arcane Surge. And skill tree-wise, we of course started at Templar, made our way through, got damage and mana and what have you, got all this sort of stuff. And the first things I got was Retribution and then AoE, because I was leveling as a Lightning Tendrils to start. I went for Lightning Tendrils with Arcane Surge and Infused Channeling, and I just shit on everything. With two wands, I got a +1 Lightning Skills wand, and I used that for till about 30-ish, I want to say. And I used that with Lightning Tendrils and just clapped pretty much everything. Got the AoE there, got Holy Dominion and spell damage from Light of Divinity here. And then from there we went and got LE Overload. By the time we got LE Overload, we were pretty much destroying everything because it was proccing all the time, because Lightning Tendrils was a bunch of small attacks in a giant pack, right? So it was proccing all the time. We were just absolutely decimating everything. Didn't have much survivability issues because everything just died quickly. And Infused Channeling gave a lot of tankability. But yeah, then we got the cast speed here. Cast speed is very needed for Firestorm. Otherwise, it doesn't feel really that great. Then I went through over here, went down to get the increased effective Arcane Surge on you per 200 mana spent. We are spending a decent amount of mana. It's 44 per spell cast, so it stacks up pretty quickly. And chance to get Arcane Surge when you kill an enemy. This is very good for just leveling. You can switch your tree up if you want a little bit, or your gems up a little bit. But, I mean, the Arcane Surge on kill doesn't matter. You're getting it anyways. But still, so Arcane Surge effect on you, Arcane Surge effect on you, and we're running an Arcane Surge as well at the highest level we can. So yeah, we'll have like very high Arcane Surge, then our baseline Arcane Surge, then the highest Arcane Surge when it eventually goes off. And then from there we get the elemental damage here, 50% LE damage. This is insanely good for like leveling and just flat damage in general. You could do a tree where you cut like through here, you get the LE damage, the int, strength, and then the jewel or what have you, right? You could do the jewel, or you could do the power charge, or whatever way you want to go here. Even the ES here, you can go through this way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, and then get this, and then grab this, and then do this setup. And eventually you can go and get all this and take these points out if you want to get to this quicker. Like if you want, rather than going all the way around, this will take you, you know, a few levels to do, like probably 10 or so levels. Whereas that like trek would take you about 5 to get to the 50% LE damage stuff. If you want to really go Mach 5 while leveling, grab this with lightning tendrils and a good setup there, and you'll just shit on everything. Cut through here, get this, pop over here, get LE overload, and then yeah, from there you'll kill everything in your way until about Act 5 or 6 with no real issues. You don't even have to use Firestorm and that sort of build. We've gone no fire damage at that point. But yeah, so from there I went around and got all that, got this. And from there, I went up and got the ES stuff here, or the fire damage stuff here, sorry. So we got all the fire damage, fire over time, multi, fire damage, penetrates, fire res, fire damage, fire damage, fire damage. And then we got fire damage leached as ES, which is very nice because we are running a discipline in here. I didn't cover this in the build. I didn't think about this. This was actually added to me by someone in the comment section. If you should probably run a discipline for free ES. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. So we are running an aura setup of discipline and vitality, and it makes us pretty much unkillable for the most part, unless you get frozen and instantly one-shot. We are a little bit spiky, but of course, because my gear is absolute fucking ape-wank right now, so yeah. For the rest of the skill tree, where I plan to go next, I'm going to go down to get stun immunity next, because I have most of the damage that I want. Actually, I'm either going to get stun immunity or go straight to CI. It's gonna be one of those two, because we're closing in on Blood Aqueducts. I mean, Act 6, so 3 more acts. We're going to get there pretty quick, so I can assume maybe 10-ish levels, but I plan to get to about 68, so we got 21 more points plus skill tree stuff. So, you know, a ballpark, like here is about 8 points, 11 points, and then going to that would be 5, 6 points. So yeah, we'll be able to get there pretty quickly. I might take the fast track to this and then take points out as I go to just get CI and what is it, unwavering stance. What I'm probably going to do is leave CI like unpointed until I get actually good ES gear, then grab CI afterwards and call it a day in that sort of situation, because you can do things like that. The thing's saying you have to take it immediately and have, you know, 384 health in 1 life, or 384 shield in 1 life, you know. But yeah. So Ascendancy's next path I'm going to go is Illuminated Devotion, because I want the AoE while I have Arcane Surge. And then Spell Damage Leeches Life is really good for right now. It'll be useless later. But the Immune to Ailments will also solve my freezing problem, because I'll have Arcane Surge pretty much all the time. Hopefully, anyways. There'll be an odd situation where I get frozen every now and then. But other than that, we should be fine in that regard. So yeah, gem setup wise, we are running with a discipline. We got a Vol discipline, which is also very useful for bossing. Or if you feel like you're going to get shit on at some point, you can just tap it and it will instantly regenerate, or instantly start your shield regenerating, which is really, really nice. At least from my experience anyways. Then we're going with a Clarity, which solves all of our mana problems. It's level 5 right now. I can just set it and forget it, really. I have as many auras on as possible because I don't have all the Hierophant mana stuff just yet. Once I get that, I'll start knocking them down a little bit, knock a couple pegs off here and there. But otherwise, we're all good. 4-link helmet that I literally, you can tell I'm leveling streamer style. It's got nothing on it. I just picked up the fucking 4-link and went, okay, let's go. So we got Firestorm in here with +1 from one of my fire wands. Get a +1 to spells wand if you can. I'm gonna actually roll +1 on both wands. Once I get to late game, I'm gonna try and get +1 spell damage and spell damage with max mana. It's probably gonna be the setup I'm gonna go for, and then suffix fire to be like a god roll wand if possible. So yeah, I learned that the hard way to get a 22 Firestorm if I can. And then we got Spell Echo. That's what allows us to cast twice, and it makes it so the cast speed is bearable. Probably still needs more cast speed and/or needs to be leveled more to solve that sort of problem. So yeah, that's pretty much needed. I haven't messed around with Unleash yet. I do plan on doing that, but I haven't gotten there just yet. I'm not too sure how that'll work. We'll see, I guess. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I'll let you know in the next one, probably, how Unleash works. And yeah. LE Focus and Arcane Surge, because of course we are stacking Arcane Surge stuff from Hierophant. So yeah, that is that for more damage, cast speed once it goes off, all that sort of stuff. And then the LE Focus is just flat damage. The gear is pretty shit, honestly. Frostblink for movement spell. This thing does so much fucking damage that I've considered making an actual build out of it. Like, I can literally kill stuff with just Frostblink. I can kill trash by just porting into it. So what I'm considering doing is getting a second wind support, which I'll get pretty soon once I talk to the chick over here, Lily. I'll get a second wind support, and I'll throw that in here, and I'll let you teleport twice. So you can use this to clear, like, 2 trash packs just instantly, and not have to stop to cast. So as a result, that's going to be really good, and I'm considering maybe making a build out of it at some point and doing, like, mods for it and something stupid. A Frostblink Vortex or something, I don't know. Ideas. Herald of Ash in here is going to be a nice damage bonus. This is more spell fire damage and more burning damage. Burning damage doesn't matter, but the spell fire damage is nice. And because of the +1 fire spell damage or spell skill gems, it gets +1 as well. So it's going to end up with +2 once I get 2 fire wands. And then I have Vitality and Summon Stone Golem. I don't have a cast wind in here yet. I need it soon. I can go get it right now. Actually, I'm going to do that later / tomorrow when I play this character again. I'm going to go grab that. But the Vitality is going to make you unkillable. I'd recommend getting one. Be careful about the strength requirements, because I over-leveled it at one point and accidentally took the wrong point somewhere, and it didn't end well, so do be wary of that. Flasks-wise, I ended up getting an Adrenaline Mana Flask, so that's very nice, and I just rolled this, an Onslaught increased duration with cast speed, so this is absolutely crazy. I'm going to keep this the rest of the league, probably, for this character, because, yeah, that's just nuts. So that's very nice for us. We're going to drop the Mana Flask, or the HP Flask as well, eventually, once I get CI, because it's going to be useless at that point. And we're going to go for the % damage Flask, and try and find a plus effect on that fella. Yeah, gear-wise, I have an Aberrat's Horn. I got it from Ritual. The rest of the gear is pretty shitty. This Talisman's pretty good with a 30% increased spell damage. Drop the Kikazaru for whatever reason. Movement speed boots, and then the +1 fire spells. Wand. So yeah, as much ES as we can get, pretty much wherever. Regenerates ES per second. Like, surprisingly, my gear is not entirely awful, but there are some pieces that it's just thrown together in regards to gearing and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much the day one stuff. I don't have anything else to really showcase to you. Build itself works exceptionally well. Kills pretty much everything. Killed Innocence without dying. Killed Katava without dying. Took the resistance hit. Wasn't an issue. I have a 2-stone with all res on here and res, so this is like really good for supplementing that. And then because we have Holy Dominion, we get 12% all res for free, so that's very nice for fixing resistance problems. LE Overload procs all the time, because we're doing a shit ton of really small impacts from Firestorm. Like, the build's actually showing up to be pretty good. It's going to depend on the ES gear that I can come across, and hopefully that will be up to snuff and allow me to not die. So we shall see how it winds up. Bossing is pretty good. I can stand in one spot and just unload these things on people, and it looks kind of funny when I do, and I just spam a shit ton of meteors into people. It's pretty good. And then Arcane Surge goes off and we get even faster, and the bossing is pretty good. The bossing is surprisingly good. But yeah, it was a little screen fucky, I'll give you that one. But otherwise, doing pretty damn good so far. But yeah, let me know if you guys are playing the build alongside me. Let me know in the comments. I am streaming while I record this. Well, streaming for a little bit longer, but still. If you want to check that out, it'll be in the description. I'll be probably playing for another couple days or so until the initial league hype wears off, and then I am going back to doing World of Warcraft stuff. But yeah, this is going to be build progression number 1. Join me again tomorrow when we hit the Blood Aqueducts and actually start getting gear, and we can put a character together out of the pieces I have right now. Thank you guys very much for joining me, and I shall see you tomorrow. Take care, gentlemen.